Mahila. Now Buddleja Davidii, legs humanoid and torso humanoid of this creature that we're going over. Bindon Bloodstony, who's a person on Wikipedia. He has the head of this creature. His humanoid or human head is the head, and then the legs and torso are a plant, but it's humanoid. So, um, so we'll go over the Prolemur style arms. Okay, girl plays dead, then FaceTimes grandma after parent sister killed. Texas family says shark jumps to bite off parasailer from Jordan Foot. Rachmawati Sukarna Putri, 27 September 1950 to 3 July 2021. Those are the headlines from the other day. Okay. So that was on Yahoo. Girl plays dead, then FaceTimes grandma after parent sister. All this is just like, some people would think that's the nonsense that you don't look at for Yahoo. But I usually think that, but then I did tend to look at some of the lesser known stories, or some of the kind of Instagram stories or whatever. I was kind of looking at those here recently, within the past couple years on Yahoo, because I drifted away from Yahoo, since about like late 2016 into 2017. Like when I started making videos on Mountain Dew Lemon, I kind of got off Yahoo. But now when I look at it, I see that all the stories kind of matter, and maybe they always did, it's a different way of looking at it. But you may think this is a bullshit story. It may be. I don't know. But that's what was on there. And then some is Wikipedia, that Rachmawati. So try to say Mr. T did face T. That's what they were trying to say. It was deep deception that they were pulling that her spirit the other night, the HUR, what Marcel Dad, Rack Mom, Canadians lost third game of 7 to Tampa, 8 July, help day after H Stream. You, Earl Cavender, who I did the triathlon with, he was mad that there were no trophies, or we got medals, but the presentation and everything he was mad about. That's just a triathlon I did when I was younger, but his name showed up, and it's nothing against him or anything. It's symbolism, okay? So U17 Cavender 136 5 911 was what we were going for the other night. Remember? So and the camera kind of switched up. Sorry about that. Just the way I'm holding it. If I tilt it a little bit, it'll turn. But then we have this Hill Ice and Chick-fil-A, Old Bradley spot up, Esther at the register, many girls one by one to restroom after ice and headlocked eye. Joe Pesci complete, 718 Eastern, 3 July 2021, Limited. Animal Drone newspaper, Herald Leader, BA flying to Lexington tomorrow for 4th July. So just that going on, all of that. That was a lot. So this was the Joe Pesci, okay? That's why I have here Joe Pesci complete. See, when Joe Pesci did the 395, in the old days, the old greaseball deal was for Jesus at 367, and then it was supposed to be a 368 is perfect. That's the Dustin Neil Diamond. That's all old show stuff. Old. That was in the 90s when it was changing. So that himself, Dustin Neil Diamond. So then the Joe Pesci, see, he went farther. He went to 395. So for him to go, 20 days after 20 plus days after. Like, where I was at this day would have been 3 July, so, a couple days after Donald Rumsfeld died. So basically, like a day or two into the Pure River, that's where Joe Pesci was at 20 plus days in. Does that make sense? Like, not everyone does the deal the same way if it's the old greaseball deal. And you can tell, like Brad Pitt, you can tell from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that his deal was even different than Leo's deal. Like, they're like it's not the same stuff. The talents are different. Some of it is Assyria versus the new Assyria. It's all like you have to think like if America is on the way out and Edom is rising up, then who's going to be a part of the new Edom, that new Persian kingdom? Like like with palaces and flying cars and whatever you want to think of, with tables and of food, and they got their own movies and everything. I hate to put it like that. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but like, a lot of this stuff, it reads that America is on the way out. I don't really concur with Grox that, okay, it's going to be, the New Jerusalem. In my writings, I tend to try to save America. Okay, well, we'll do the FEMA, and do the Matrix in the FEMA, give them perks in the FEMA, and then go to Australia, have that be the Euphrates tie-in, that's the new America, like with Hawaii and the land bridge, you know. But even before that, have John the Baptist mobbing, get him going for that American dream, that it's accomplished in his view of it, in the BHP view of it, that that you work hard and are honorable to your family, and you don't step out of line, and that you go to school for free, and that you accomplish things in job realm. Okay, and stay steady with your wife and everything, and be steady. Okay, so give him time, and give him the arc of the Mexicans to show in the movies, to show how they're infiltrating, and it's their time, and that the good parts of America were that old Philadelphia stuff that came from them. Not, that everyone's gonna have to bend over or something for the Assyria on that end. That's the deep EA. That's for, that's that false rapture stuff that people have believed in. That's really dark on that side, but I tend not to get into that too much. That's for like the baptism of the Great Tribulation. That's what that is. That's like the bands, like it talks about in Nebuchadnezzar's time, when he was mobbing in all the different kingdoms, and bands of iron and on the neck. So, and even give him the islands, give him time to set up that, okay, you need to leave America. America is not what it says it is. It's the false DC system. And that's all Grox wants to talk about, is the false DC system. Okay, so if it's so false and the rest of the world is laughing at us or don't want any part of us, well, they might be getting ready for a sneak attack. All right. So, let's see. Polymer style arms. Native American girl wants to be first red pop star with her main man sitting at seat for keyboard. She said main man. I had to move carpet back after altering TV view and moving carpet. Everything you do leads to something else, says Mom. I got down on face flat under TV. During this, Native American girl and her main man, Ray. Um, let's see, did it's America's Got Talent? Let's see. Here's Got Talent. Okay. So, this was before 8:54 Eastern, 3 July 2021. So it was the wedding, it was that, what's it called? Sorry, that glyph. Abydos was complete. So Abydos, complete. Okay. Just, lower level of it. But it's not really lower. I'm using basic language. I'm sorry, I don't speak your language. So one pair of hands has 3 fingers, 2 wide webbed, and a thumb. These are the ciphers: 29362 47565. Do you want the regular one? And then you say yes or no. Holly explains to Granby after phone turned blue and TV turned blue to Japan. Landslide, 20 missing at Atami. City, Brock Waters. Flowers. Far out, Mom says. Hanani K. Trask, 1949 to July 3rd, Boba. Was a Hawaiian nationalist, educator, political scientist, author, and professor emeritus. Mexican, cleaning ladies in New Jersey. Z's men in life have all let him down. So, what they were doing was, because everyone that dies, I respond to it a certain way and will look into it, but they know instinctually how to react to it, to play out their system. So what this was, they played it out that they played this up like they were Hark, like that the 5 months had started, because they knew I thought that the 5 months had started and that we were going into that 150-day cycle. They knew I thought that, so then they said this, and then that led to this, right here. And then I just, like my mom said today, then you got mad and just went to your room, but I didn't say anything. I just went to my room, this room, but then, H was like, tell Brock to use, a napkin or paper towel for his drink, because, so it won't sweat or something, so it won't sweat. So they knew that, that I knew that the terror attack would be for today with BA, and that it would be the worthy and all that. They knew that I knew that, and they knew that, like, they were responding and actively. So, like Obama, like the sweat, like they thought that I was the man of perdition. So it was really screwed up. But I had even done this, got down on my face flat, like that old Persian that we saw. You remember? And I have mentioned that a few different times. The obeisance, obeisance. So, and it's the fireworks. That's why Jeremy has to be with us. He's right there. But the fireworks, he gets a little scared of the fireworks. So that kind of correlated with the theater. But like, of course, that's not all that it means, But that's what it meant for me at that time. Because it all did correlate. Even down to the come of the earth and that Godzilla, sci-fi looking thing that happened in Mexico, the oil rig, that I had never seen before. Something that looked like that on TV, that was real and not a movie. So, um, so this was S Hark, and then it's like they got me calm, and then it led to this, you know, like in the look on the face was just priceless. Like they were like, yes, you will get down. Like they were like satisfied. Like yes, all that stuff. It's very greaseball. All that old Grox is greaseball. But the way that I looked at it was like, no, we have to be the Brahma judge and like help Jesus. Like, and if we gotta get down on a knee, it's okay. Like we just gotta get to heaven. Like just make it. Like we can just make it to heaven. Like don't worry. Like it'll be okay. That's what I thought. So all this here. Um, so take a look at all this. Um, so this was just, how it played out. The enmity was a little different because of how it read at the moment. Because when you get into these big numbers, sometimes it'll be like your instant moment of what is being said. So, how to read it. Carmel, OU Damos, by no means. One pair of hands has 3 fingers, 2 wide webbed, and a thumb. So, is this one and this one, and including the ciphers. Okay. So remember, the head is Bindon Bloodstony is the head, which you can find on Wikipedia, and then Buddleja Davidii you can find on Wikipedia too. And yeah, maybe Kevin J. O'Connor was following the Bible, like he wanted to do it right-wise and just be like, no, let's leave it the greaseball stuff and we'll see what we can do here for this goat to end the goat or something to get ready for the tribulation. Well, that's not the way to go about it. That's wrong. Because you can break someone, you can make them knee and get them cut off into the system so that they're set as like they have their faith, they have their spirit, and then they use their talents to better humanity and to inspire the next person that's going through the pyramid. That's one thing. But to break them and say, no, you need to change who you are and do something you don't believe in so that you get beat up or something, like, like who's that glorifying? And you can say, well, you gotta do the blood cross, Brock. Like that's what it is. Nah, man, like that's not like what it is. Like that's not what it is. Like, yeah, Jesus was the 6. You have to understand that. Like that 6, like it's not that they don't have talents. It's that the synagogue of Satan manipulates their blood and DNA to be transgender. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. And you remember I said, when will Robert Shaw stuff hit? It's hitting now. With all the Joe Biden and the squad and all that transgender stuff. That's Robert Shaw. Because he stood for them. He stood for them. It's that Ace Ventura story. What, you think that movie's just for kicks? Like, you think Jim Carrey, his name is Jim Carrey. Like, you think he, as intense as he is as an actor, doing the Truman Show and everything, you think he just did that for fun? And how good of an actor he is to be able to long-winded and everything as he is? Like, no, man, like, that's real stuff. That's Ray Finkel, like, that's real stuff. And, like, that's part of the claw system. Like they cover it up, but those, like Robert Shaw, like he stood for them and was a true six. Like he was like I, I mean, yeah, like I don't have concrete evidence. I can't be like, yes, Jesus was a woman. He was Gondel. He was a berserker in the waters of chaos, like mobbing like a leader for women, like and being with her man, like and showing the sex, like it was all like Starship Troopers. I can't say that for sure, but that's my feeling, that it was like that it was Starship Troopers. Like it was something like that in the waters, like with animals and stuff and dinosaurs. Like they were all like humanoid spirits. And like, I think that he became Robert Shaw when he cut off. And like, that, like, he was a woman inside the man's body. And like the whole story of Jesus, like they put it in the male sense, like for KJV and for everyone to get it. Like, you know, like it goes back to Dan tribe. They had to, because Jesus did it in the stars with Gondel. And then they were like, why does Dan remain in ships? You know? Then he did it with Robert Shaw and the opposite of the sex. Like the gender. That's my take on it, man. Like, I mean, you can say like, oh, well, we don't know, but like and even in my old writings, I said, like Mitchell, my cousin, who I showed you the picture of. I showed you that picture. I said like he represents Jesus. Like and that's because like he had a football accident and he was a claw, like he was an actor. Like, does that make sense? Like that's why I thought that. Like now I have more information, but I still don't have enough. All right, thank you. This is the creature.